Imagine the grandest story ever told, a tale so vast it contains every star, every atom, every thought you've ever had. 13.8 billion years ago, everything, space itself, time itself, matter itself, even the possibility of you, erupted from a single, infinitely dense, infinitely hot point, smaller than an atom, the Big Bang. Science delivers this origin epic with breathtaking precision. We trace its first furious expansion, watch plasma cool into the simplest atoms, witness the ignition of the first stars. We even detect its faint afterglow today, the cosmic microwave background radiation, a 2.7 Kelvin whisper filling every cubic centimeter of empty space, proof of that primordial fireball. But here the story slams into a wall, a hard mathematical stop. What lit that cosmic fuse? What unimaginable force crushed all reality into a singularity where the laws of physics themselves shatter? What existed, or failed to exist, in the instant before time began ticking? For 5,000 years of recorded history, humanity stared into this abyss and saw gods. The Egyptians envisioned Atum rising self-created from chaotic nun waters to speak the world into being. Norse myths spoke of Ginnungagap, the yawning void where fire and ice collided to birth Ymir, the first being whose corpse became the cosmos. Hindu cosmology cradled Brahmanda, the cosmic golden egg, hatching from eternal darkness to unleash creation's dance. Every culture, every epoch filled this pre-origin void with primal chaos, divine serpents, or world eggs splitting open. They all agreed on one thing: true nothingness felt wrong. Modern physics now validates that ancient instinct, but replaces gods with something far stranger. Not a singular explosive beginning, not absolute empty nothing, but eternal, seething foam. A quantum chaos older than time, where our Big Bang was merely one bubble popping into existence amid trillions of others. A restless, unstable sea where before stretches backward and forward forever. The impossible question was never simply, what was before the Big Bang? It's, what if before never had a beginning at all? From the dawn of consciousness, humans gazed at star-strewn skies and felt the weight of one inescapable question: where did it all come from? Every ancient culture answered with stories of primal chaos, a formless abyss refusing to stay empty. The Babylonians sang of Tiamat, the saltwater dragon goddess whose corpse was split by Marduk to form sky and earth. Egyptian priests whispered of Nun, the infinite watery nothing from which Atum emerged to spit out the first divine twins, Shu and Tefnut, air and moisture separating order from formless dark. In China, the cosmic Pangu hatched from a yin-yang egg of chaos, his breath becoming wind, his body the mountains, his eyes the sun and moon. Greek philosophers refined this into Orphic cosmology, the cosmic egg of Kronos, Father Time, cracked open by Phanes the light-bearer to birth gods and worlds from silvery void. Polynesians spoke of Tepo, the long night, where the primal parents Rangi Sky and Papa Earth clung together until their children tore them apart to create space for life. Notice the pattern. No culture imagined true, perfect nothingness. Every origin required a seething, pregnant void, waters, darkness, eggs, serpents, something unstable, something alive, straining to birth reality. These weren't just stories. They encoded deep intuition. Perfect vacuum felt lifeless, unnatural. Chaos had to writhe, bubble, struggle toward creation. Now science arrives at the same conclusion through equations, not epics. Quantum field theory reveals that empty space doesn't exist. At the smallest scales, vacuum roils with violent activity, particle-antiparticle pairs flickering in and out of existence, borrowing energy from uncertainty itself, repaying it a Planck. Second later, physicists measure this. The Casimir Effect squeezes metal plates together in vacuum because virtual particles crowd more between them than outside. Particle accelerators catch these quantum ghosts long enough to weigh their influence. The ancients sensed what Heisenberg proved. True nothing cannot endure. Empty space hates being empty. It foams, it churns, it demands to become something. What if every creation myth whispered the same scientific truth? That our Big Bang wasn't the first spark, but one eruption from an eternal, restless void that birthed universes long before, and will birth trillions more after we're gone. Part 3. Big Bang's Hard Limit. Quantum phys proves even voids hate emptiness, mirroring ancient chaos myths. But our standard Big Bang model still crumbles under 3 fatal cracks so severe they nearly killed the theory entirely. By the 1970s, Big Bang triumphed spectacularly, predicting exact hydrogen/helium ratios, 75%/25%, measured to 0.1% precision, explaining galaxy clustering patterns, mapping CMB blackbody spectrum perfectly. Yet 3 fine-tuning disasters threaten total collapse. 1. Horizon problem, the impossible uniformity. Cosmic microwave background glows astonishingly uniform, temperature matched across entire sky to 1 part in 100,000, smoother than a billiard ball. Problem. At recombination, 380,000 years post-bang, light speed limited opposite cosmic horizons to never communicate. Regions 10 to the 24th power meters apart, separated 1 million years, yet perfectly equilibrated. How did disconnected plasma patches know matching temperatures without faster-than-light coordination? Standard expansion crawled too slowly. 2. Flatness. Problem. Knife edge balance. Universe today critically flat. Omega total equals 1.00 plus or minus 0.01. Planck 2018. Perfect Euclidean geometry. Early Big Bang requires insane initial tuning. Density balanced on razor's edge between 1 plus epsilon, big crunch in 10 to the power of 10 years, and 1 minus epsilon, endless dilution. By nucleosynthesis, 3 minutes post-bang, needed precision 1 part in 10 to the power of 16. By Planck time, 1 part in 10 to the power of 60. Like spinning coin balanced on edge for 13.8 billion years, statistically impossible without conspiracy. 3. Monopole problem. Missing monsters. Grand unified theories, SU of 5, SO of 10, predict magnetic monopoles, isolated N/S poles, produced 1 per Hubble volume during 10 to the power of minus 35 seconds GUT phase transition. Standard cosmology demands 10 to the power of 80 monopoles per cubic centimeter today, warping expansion, dooming structure formation. Reality. 0 detected despite 50-plus years magnetic hunting. Where are the cosmic abominations? These weren't minor details. They branded Big Bang ugly patchwork, requiring miraculous initial conditions more contrived than 1,000 monkeys typing Shakespeare. Physicists like Steven Weinberg called it the elephant in the room. Theory teetered on collapse. Then, January 1980, Alan Guth's Cornell notebook scribbles ignited revolutionary fire. But if ancient myths and quantum phys both whisper that nothing cannot stay empty, what mechanism finally turns restless void into actual universes? The answer arrived in 1980 when physicist Alan Guth scribbled equations that would shatter cosmology forever. Picture our standard Big Bang story hitting its first crisis. Observation showed the universe astonishingly uniform, smooth plasma wall-to-wall at 380,000 years old. Yet gravity should have clumped it unevenly from any reasonable starting conditions. Horizon problem, flatness problem, monopole problem. The infant theory was cracking. Then Guth proposed inflation, a split-second phase where space didn't just expand, it exploded exponentially faster than light. A proton-sized patch bloomed to grapefruit size in 10 to the power of minus 32 seconds, ironing out wrinkles, diluting defects, seeding the perfect hot soup for galaxies. Problem solved. Except inflation had no brakes. Guth's original equations showed runaway expansion, space doubling every instant, forever. An eternal, inflating monster. Enter the breakthrough refinement, the false vacuum. Our universe didn't begin as a singularity crushed to infinity. It bubbled up from a higher energy unstable state, a false vacuum, that quantum tunneled downward, triggering local big bangs while the broader foam kept inflating eternally. Our cosmos, just one bubble among trillions. Each pop births a universe with its own physics, cooling from that false vacuum decay like water droplets condensing from supersaturated steam. Guth called it the ultimate free lunch. No beginning needed, no edge, just eternal foam churning out realities. But what exactly is this false vacuum? The unstable sea that birthed our bubble and countless others. That's the quantum instability waiting to unravel in Part 5. From eternal inflation's runaway expansion, one question burns. What powers this cosmic engine? The answer lies in false vacuum, a higher energy state so unstable it craves decay, birthing big bangs like avalanches down an energy hillside. Imagine energy landscapes like mountain ranges, but in quantum fields. Our familiar vacuum, the true vacuum, sits in the deepest valley, lowest possible energy, perfectly stable. False vacuum perches higher up on a precarious slope, masquerading as stable but doomed to tumble. Quantum mechanics provides the spark. Tunneling. Particles don't slide down hills. They quantum leap through barriers, instantly dropping to lower energy. Scale this to cosmic size, and a false vacuum patch tunnels downward, violently releasing energy that superheats space into Big Bang conditions. The surrounding false vacuum, untouched. It keeps inflating exponentially, spawning new, unstable patches, each tunneling independently. Result: endless foam where bubbles equals universes. Their baby cries equals our cosmic microwave background. Visualize boiling water droplets condensing from steam, each droplet a universe cooling from false vacuum decay, while steam, inflating space, generates trillions more. Our bubble won the lottery, landing in a true vacuum valley permitting atoms, stars, life. Others collapsed instantly or expanded too violently for structure. Physicists measure hints in the cosmological constant, our vacuum's tiny energy density, 10 to the power of minus 120 times quantum predictions, suggesting we're in a rare, just right bubble. But what fuels this eternal instability? Heisenberg's uncertainty principle ensures even empty, false vacuum never rests. Which leads us to Part 6, the quantum fizz that makes true nothingness impossible. If false vacuum's energy hills power eternal bubble births, what keeps that unstable sea eternally restless? The answer is Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the quantum rule that makes true emptiness impossible, turning nothing into a violent storm of potential big bangs. Forget the classical vacuum of perfect stillness. Quantum field theory reveals empty space as a cauldron of chaos. Heisenberg's 1927 principle states you cannot know both a field's position and momentum precisely. Delta E delta T greater than or equal to h bar over 2, forcing vacuum energy to jitter violently at tiny scales. Result: virtual particles, electron-positron pairs, quarks and gluons, entire photons, constantly popping into existence, borrowing energy from the vacuum's uncertainty debt, then annihilating a Planck second later. Space doesn't sit empty, it boils. Physicists prove this frenzy. The Casimir Effect pins metal plates together in vacuum. Virtual photons crowd more between them than outside, creating measurable pressure. Hawking radiation encircles black holes as this fizz steals their mass. Particle colliders like CERN catch these ghosts, measuring their influence on atomic spectra. Scale this to cosmic dimensions. False vacuum inherits this quantum storm. Random energy spikes from particle fizz push patches over tunneling thresholds, triggering sudden big bangs. No external fuse needed. The void's own restlessness ignites reality. Ancient mystics sensed this. Their writhing chaos serpents, bubbling world eggs, mirrored quantum foam's seething instability. Modern equations confirm their intuition. Perfect nothing cannot exist. It must birth something. This relentless quantum brew doesn't just spawn universes. It crafts infinite varieties with wildly different laws, which we'll explore in Part 7, Infinite Bubbles, Infinite Laws. Heisenberg's quantum storm ensures false vacuum never sleeps, constantly tunneling into new big bangs. But each bubble doesn't copy our universe. It rolls cosmic dice, birthing trillions of parallel realities with wildly different laws of physics. String theory reveals why. Fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetism, strong and weak nuclear, aren't fixed universals. They're determined by extraspatial dimension shapes and sizes, creating a landscape of 10 to the power of 500 possible vacuum states. Each bubble inherits a random configuration during its false vacuum decay. Some bubbles get gravity too weak, stars never ignite, eternal hydrogen mist. Others get electromagnetism overpowering nuclear forces. Atoms cannot form, just diffuse plasma. Rare configurations match ours. Protons stable for billions of years. Chemistry complex enough for DNA. Vacuum energy low enough for galaxy formation. We're not special. We're a lottery winner in an infinite casino. Anthropic principle explains our existence. We observe these laws because only they permit carbon-based life forms asking, why these laws? Dead universes don't ponder their physics. Imagine the foam ocean. Collapsing bubbles blink out instantly. Hyper-inflating ones shred into atomic soup. Goldilocks bubbles like ours bloom into galaxy-spawning havens. Trillions spawn every second across eternal inflation, most inhospitable, a few life-friendly. You exist in one of the happy accidents. This multiverse solves fine-tuning riddles. Our cosmological constant's impossible precision, 1 part in 10 to the power of 120, inevitable across infinite tries. No gods, no design, just statistics. But do we have evidence these neighboring bubbles ever brushed against ours, leaving cosmic scars? That's the detective story in Part 8. Evidence Hunt. CMB Bruises. Infinite bubbles sound like beautiful theory, but does reality bear scars from our cosmic neighbors? Astronomers hunt multiverse fingerprints in the cosmic microwave background, our universe's baby picture, searching for bruises where alien bubbles collided with ours during birth. The CMB, frozen 380,000 years after our Big Bang, should be perfectly smooth per inflation, temperature uniform to 1 part in 100,000. Yet Planck satellite's 2013 map revealed anomalies. The cold spot, 70 microkelvins cooler than surroundings, spanning 1.8 billion light years. Too large, too circular for random quantum seeds. Bubble collision theory predicts exactly this. When our inflating patch tunneled to true vacuum, a neighboring bubble could graze it, dumping discordant energy, local reheating or phase mismatch, creating temperature scars, disc-shaped cold spots, axis of evil alignments, unexplained power asymmetries between hemispheres. Planck data shows 3 such candidates. The cold spot aligns with Eridanus supervoid, but its extremity demands extra physics. Bicep 2's 2014 gravitational wave discovery, later dust contamination, hunted primordial B modes, spiral imprints from inflation itself, potentially warped by multiverse edges. Critics counter, supervoids or foreground galaxies explain anomalies. No smoking gun yet, but future missions, Simon's Observatory CMBS-4, will map polarization to exquisite precision, seeking bubble collision disk signatures too sharp for standard inflation. We're not imagining evidence. The data teases. Our CMB might display graffiti from realities we can never visit, ghostly echoes proving eternal foam isn't fantasy, but the parent ocean birthing us. If neighboring bubbles left marks, what does that mean for our place in this godless infinity? The terrifying implications unfold in Part 9. If CMB bruises hint at neighboring realities brushing ours, eternal inflation doesn't just rewrite origins, it obliterates every comforting assumption about existence, leaving us adrift in a godless, centerless infinity where before and after lose all meaning. No first universe. Eternal inflation runs eternally backward too. Every bubble's false vacuum parent itself bubbled from a grandparent regressing infinitely. No creation event, no prime mover, just foam spawning foam forever, with no edge, no beginning, no ultimate cause, no cosmic center. Every bubble feels like its own Big Bang origin, each observer convinced their patch birthed everything. Yet all float equally lost in the inflating sea, our 93 billion light-year observable universe, a pathetic speck amid infinite realms, trillions of times vaster. No end to inflation. While our bubble cools toward heat death, the parent false vacuum accelerates, birthing new universes faster than old ones decay. Trillions spawn every Planck instant, most lifeless plasma, a few teeming with bizarre life forms pondering their own before. We can never reach them. Expansion exceeds light speed eternally. No special status. Humanity's drama, pyramids, symphonies, wars, plays out in one lucky bubble among 10 to the power of 500 vacuum states. Flip a few string parameters, and no chemistry, no biology, no minds to ask these questions. We're not chosen. We're accident. The ancient terror returns, stripped of gods. No divine plan comforts this chaos. No apocalypse redeems it. just eternal, mindless foam, pregnant with realities, indifferent to all that bubbles within. Our gods were projections onto quantum truth, creation from writhing nothing, exactly as the shamans sang. This infinite isolation demands we confront our true place. Are you a fleeting thought in one rare bubble, staring into the foam that birthed you? Part 10 reveals what this means for you, right now. From eternal foam's godless infinity, one final zoom pulls us from cosmic abyss to the only reality that matters. Your mind, right now, grappling with truths ancient shamans could only chant about. Science dismantled creation gods, replacing mythic eggs and serpents with equations. False vacuum tunneling, Heisenberg fizz, 10 to the power of 500 bubble lotteries. Yet the core mystery endures, deeper than any telescope can probe. Are you a fleeting pattern in one rare bubble? Our universe's laws, gravity's kiss, carbon's versatility, vacuum's whisper, won the cosmic jackpot, permitting neurons to fire, eyes to see starlight, voices to whisper. Why? Dead bubbles stay silent. You exist to witness because only witnessing bubbles birth witnesses. Zoom out. Your brain's electric storm mirrors quantum foam, 10 to the power of 11 neurons flickering like virtual particles, thoughts popping from synaptic voids. Galaxies swirl in our bubble like cells in your body. The same chaos scales rule all. Ancient minds filled this with divine parents. We fill it with math. But the feeling remains. You're not just in the foam. You are foam contemplating itself. A self-aware ripple in eternal chaos, staring back at the sea that spawned you. No equation answers the final riddle. No experiment tests infinite regression. The foam stretches forever behind and beyond, pregnant with your unborn twins. Other yous in alien bubbles, asking identical questions under stranger skies. What was before the Big Bang? Not nothing. Not gods. An eternal restless foam, where your story is one bubble's improbable poem. Now it's your turn. What do you think birthed this moment? Math, mystery, or something we can't name? Share in the comments below. The foam listens,